Hello everyone and welcome back to the realm and the wonderful world of Crusader Kings 2. This is a new Let's Play and we are playing in the Clash of Kings scenario using the Game of Thrones modification. In case you've forgotten, my name is Burton and welcome to the Centre of Worlds and the Kingdom of Qarth. I'm playing as Mathos II. I'm a Pureborn and I rule from the Hall of 1,000 Thrones. Qarth itself is the greatest city that ever was or ever will be. It is the centre of the world, the gate between north and south, and the bridge between the east and the west. It is ancient beyond memory of man and so magnificent that even Saphos the Wise put out his own eyes after gazing upon Qarth for the first time, because he knew that all he saw thereafter should look squalid and ugly by comparison. Now Qarth itself is a city of merchants, and we love the clink of our silver coins. They gleam of the yellow of their gold. The city possesses one of the greatest ports in the world, and Qarthine spice ships can even be as large, they can fit whole palaces inside of them. But these are strange times in Qarth, and strange times are bad for trade. During the Century of Blood, we lost more than 1 or 2 colonies to the Dothraki, and we will reclaim what has been taken from us. We will reclaim the provinces that were taken by those Dothraki dung lords, and we will do it in our own time, for we need this to expand, we need to grow. But before we can do this, we need to plan, for it has been a long while since we have done so. Too long has Qarth stayed behind its 3 thick walls of 30, 40 and 50 feet in height, each one engraved with portraits of animals, war and lovemaking. We sit here and we fester and we lose our strength. We have not used these defences for centuries, and so now is the time to expand. So, after that little introduction, what is it exactly we're going to do? Well, let's survey our territory first. As you can see here, we are in charge of this entire area, specifically the Jade Gates. The Jade Gates are really important to us because that's where we get a lot of our trade. Speaking of trade, it's the 13 who are controlling this, and the 13 themselves you'll be able to see are they're not too bad. The spices are controlling the majority of it, but we haven't come here to trade, we've come here to reclaim what was taken from us. So now we know that we control the trade from east to west, so that gives us an advantage. We've got colonies around us: Vascoa, Tularo, Vasorius and Vesorvik. Each one of these was taken from us from the Dothrakis, so we will reclaim these in turn. Let's have a look at myself then. I'm Pureborn Mathos II of Qarth. I'm 52 years old. I'm an expert scientist, a poor fighter, but I'm diligent and ruthless. I've also been considered cruel by some people, but not to my face. I'm also envious. So, who am I married to? Syria. She's 52, and I can tell you she's a greedy, deceitful... Well, she used to be deceitful, now she's brave and honest. Well, it looks like even the oldest dog can learn new tricks. She's diligent and dutiful academic. Right, so we didn't have a look at what we've actually got to play with, because we're going to be playing this based on, obviously, our stats. Obviously it looks like we are a bit of a schemer, our intrigue is fairly high, our stewardship is low, as is our martial, our diplomacy and state learning are fairly average. My line of succession is safe. We have a son, Pureborn Donofos. Catchy name I know, and just so happens, he's fairly good at leading armies. So we'll put him to good use. He's as yet unmarried, so maybe we can get an alliance from him in the future. We also have a daughter, Tenesia. She also isn't married, but she's a bit rude, so we don't know whether she'll be able to get married anytime soon. If I have my way, she will. Her brother Medello, he is fairly average, selfish, but he's a kind person who is also chaste. So that's not going to be very good for a wife. And last but not least, Sebastian. Good old Sebastian, my youngest son, 18 years of old. He's shy, honest, diligent, kind, formidable fighter, and a mastermind scholar. He's probably the best of the bunch. Time to have a look at our council now. So fortunately for ourselves, we have a fairly good council. We've got our good chief, Ordello. We need to get ourselves a better Justicar, better treasurer. Is there anyone we have in our court? No, there isn't. How about Justicar? Is there anyone better? No, well, looks like within Qarth, we are going to struggle with this diplomacy. We'll find a way around that, so don't you worry. Now to start off with, let's pick some ambitions. We're going to start by expand the realm by conquest, and we're going to be known as the Conqueror. So, this happens if I successfully persuade my vassals to back an invasion of a foreign realm and win the war. We're also going to set ourselves a focus. Now because we're planning to war, I think we're going to go for intrigue. It's going to give us a little bit extra, something that we need to find out where it is we're going. Now in terms of where we're going, the world is our oyster. We've got Pharos to the south. These idiots worship the stone cow. So maybe we should take them. The only problem with Pharos is they're fairly strong, 7,500 men, but I'm sure Qarth can overcome that. To the south we have the lands of Vahar, and we also have the Cinnamon Islands. Those two I would like to claim for me. Now we'll have to watch that people like Yitai, Ashai and Leng don't get involved with these sorts of things. Realms like Ashabad and this one here we don't have to worry about too much. Even though they are considered fairly strong, we should be able to out-finance them. So I am not considered about them at all. Now in order to take over any of these lands, as you can see they're all ruins right now, it would cost a fair amount of money. Now they want to set vassalization. If I declare war on them, I can do that. But what you'll see there is we must have a personal wealth of at least 1,000 gold. That's because as soon as we claim it, we'll probably then have to build upon it in order to make it a financially viable state. Now before we start afoot with our plans to expand, let's have a look at our vassals, as we don't want any trouble from within. And as you can see right now, we do have a little bit of trouble from within. A certain Khaleesi, Daenerys Targaryen of the Great Grass Sea. She seems not to like us too much, but word is she might have a dragon or two, so perhaps we can maybe trade for one or steal one. Let's see how that goes then. We also have problems with Zandoro. Zandoro is the master of the port and he doesn't like me too much, but it's nothing that a gift won't solve. So where do we go first? Well, firstly we're going to have to get ourselves a better Justicar, and who better to do that than one of my sons. Unfortunately, no one in our realm actually has the required skills. So we're going to go across and we're going to search for everyone. The problem with this is a lot of people might not be inclined to join us, but maybe a suggestion of gold or a promise of power will encourage these people to come across to me. Urella, Justicar of Old Ankle, doesn't like us too much. Is it worth a try? I think not. She's too distant to interact with, so we're going to just search for realm. There we go, we've got 17, Tanganeria. Will you join us? Sebastian, there we go, my youngest. She will. It will also cost us a lot. So maybe we shouldn't marry her to a son, maybe we should try a courtier. We have Serindas. She will marry Serindas, excellent. So we'll go ahead and secure her first and foremost. Next thing, we need a new Lord Treasurer. If we're going to be a merchant, we need to be saving this money as best as we can. So our Spy Master is too old to be married, and he's a Warlock as well. The issue with Warlocks is the Warlocks of Qarth. They were feared and respected throughout the East, but they have lost their power. They sit drinking shade of the evening, which turns their lips blue. Their stronghold and their seat of power is the House of the Undying. And where is that? That is around here somewhere. There we go. Now it is said that those who reside in this house are the most mysterious, ancient and powerful of all the Warlocks, and they are led by Prior Pre. So we must watch out for him, we must watch out for the Spices, and the 13 as well. So that's where we're up to. It's time to begin. Time to hatch the plan, and maybe steal one of these dragons. So, let's get ourselves a treasurer very quickly, and then we'll get things up and running. Moralen. We've got Quara, Lord Treasurer of somewhere, of the Spices. We're not going to go for her because she hates us. We'll go for her. Lord Treasurer J Point, she will join us shortly. Now it's important to be aware as well that we do like our slaves. In fact, it's essential to our civilization. The magnificence that is this Queen of Cities rests upon the backs of slaves. So just ask yourself a simple question. If all men must grub in the dirt for their food, how shall any man lift his eyes to contemplate the stars? If each of us must break his back to build a hovel, who shall raise the temples to glorify the gods? For some men to be great, others must be enslaved. So we're going to make sure that we've got enough slaves. So our people have arrived at the court as promised. Let's go ahead and just appoint them. Tanganeira, I'm just going to call you Tag. And Lord Treasurer, unfortunately, it appears we can only... the other one hasn't arrived yet. Hurry up, woman. Don't pay all this money. My trusted and devoted Chamberlain just brought to my attention that one of my servantmaids has given birth to a child. According to him, my son is the father. That's my boy. There we go. Alia has also arrived at court, so let's get her working. There she is. We're going to set her to collecting taxes. We're going to set... in fact, we'll leave my Spy Master for now. Train troops we don't need right this second. And we're going to start fabricating claims. Where are we going to do it? Should it be Faris? Or should we push east? Well, before we go east, we must go west. So I'm thinking, let's start with Vahar. Vahar is a small land. They have little resources, just under 7,000 men. And is it just these 3 provinces? Yeah, looks so. So maybe Vahar should be our first destination. Then when we have enough money, we'll start taking these provinces. So here we go, off to Vahar. So fabricate claims. We shall take you, sir. We are going to be overseeing our province. We want our tax modifier to be as much as possible. In terms of money, we are currently raking in a tax of 14 gold or so from the Hall of 1,000 Thrones and 9.1 from the Jade Palace. That's a good little income for us. As you can see, monthly balance is just +5. So we do what we can to try and expand that. 13 we're going to have to watch though, because they're raking in quite a bit of money. We have quite a few unlanded sons. Let's see if it's worthwhile getting us any alliances. Now if we're going to be pushing down this way, we're going to avoid alliances with these people here. We want someone who's like-minded like ourselves. So someone who is cruel would be nice. I would prefer them not to be ruthless because I wouldn't want them to watch my back. So maybe someone who's kind and trusting who wouldn't expect it. Who would we have? Who is down here in game? Maybe one of the slavers cities. Yunkai, Astapor. Let's have a look at Astapor. That's Krasny. Who have we got there? Yurkaz, a Marine. Well, as far as I'm concerned, each one of them are competitors. I'm thinking maybe the King Gradzan might have something for us. He does have a sibling, and he doesn't have a wife. Arranged marriage. He says no, must not marry an infidel. So this is going to be a bit difficult for us. Who do they actually worship? They worship the Harpy, of course they do, the Giscari. So we may have to marry within our own. So my son, who can he marry then? We want someone young of age, good of skill. Valeria, she looks okay. Dutiful commander, heavy infantry leader. He will sit with Alea for now. Marrying into House Cardiff. That will do. This vassal lies to my east and so would be a good choice for us. They will offer a buffer against our enemies. But perhaps a marriage, maybe not to my first son, but perhaps a second son. For the Lord is old and it will only be a matter of time. So let's go ahead with that. And yes, it looks like they will accept that. That's great, so we are securing one of our vassals right there. So we're going to secure one of my vassals with this marriage. Unfortunately he may not live much longer, he's 51 years old. And his son, well, his son is okay. His son doesn't have a wife though. So maybe we should solidify this. Before we do, let's just see how many men he has. He's one of our weaker vassals, maybe we should tie it on to someone who doesn't like us. We've got Quaro, Lord of Katesh. Where is this? So this is this land to our west. He has a daughter. Indeed he does. Let us arrange a marriage to one of our vassals, and this will be my youngest son, Sebastian. And that should secure us on our east and on our west. That will do for now. So onwards we go. We do also have the option as well to do a few little slave raids. Particularly on this place. We're not going to bother right now because we have some marriages to attend to. So there's one of them that's just come through. Yes, it's to everyone's concern, thank you. And the other one has come through for us. Excellent. We've gained ourselves 50 gold, which is exactly what we want. Once again, yes, it's to everyone's concern. 25, that greedy bastard. Okay, Wendelo. Okay, sir. We shall watch him like a hawk. So that is these two. I'm gonna keep my heir free from marriage, because I wouldn't want a civil war when I die. So we're gonna see what happens next. Hopefully we're gonna take the lands of Ahar. We're gonna reconquer the places that the Dothraki burned. And then we're gonna become rich beyond power and take a few dragons. Thanks for watching guys. Leave us some thumbs up if you're liking it. Cheers.